Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Band Together Leadership. My name is Paul Everts. You can reach me at my email address, which is BAND, the number two together, band together at Comcast.net. Please visit our website, which is conductingmylife.com, where you can get our book, Conducting My Life. Also, go to the curriculum tab. You'll see I'm part of the John Maxwell team. I'm a certificated coach, trainer, and speaker. I'd love to come out and be with you, either one-on-one. We could do it over Zoom if you'd like. Just we want to get people to be better, and better people make better leaders. We have an exciting announcement for you all, though. On April 29th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. in Visalia, Cafe 210, we are having a teen night thanks to Dr. Maxwell and his book, Sometimes You Win and Sometimes You Learn for Teens. It's a great book. We're just going to go 2 hours. We're looking at a cost of probably up to $15. And that's a movie. And you're going to get 2 hours of good entertainment, good fun with me as the presenter. Cafe 210, we're going to have a drink and a snack for you all. April 29th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Cafe 210 for teenagers, Visalia. If you're in Tulare County, Kern County, come on down. Visalia, come on up to Visalia. We'd love to have you. On April the 30th, at the First Presbyterian Church of Visalia, we're going to present, boom, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by Dr. John Maxwell. Registration's at 8 a.m. The event itself is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're still working on the price. I'm doing this on February 10th. I know that I posted it April the 5th. So go to conductingmylife.com. You'll have all the information you want. And we just want to make it affordable for everybody. And it's a debut going down to Visalia. And then the final thing is this exciting book that I've had hidden, Breakthrough Parenting. There is a parenting family certificate now for John Maxwell. I choose to use this book. Great book. We hope to be back down in Visalia August 27th and present this to you people down there. It's going to be really, really good, and I hope that you do it. All right? Okay. That's the 2 minute and 25-second commercial. We are going with chapter 12 on the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. What I do, those who are new to this, I just read parts, highlights of the book because I don't want to read the whole book. I want you to go buy the book. The book is really good. And I have a really old version of it, so go get the new updated one. This is chapter 12 of the old version book, The Law of Empowerment. And the Law of Empowerment simply says, only secure leaders give power to others. Right? And here's the thing, success doesn't come with the number one as far as only one person. I've had tremendous success, oh glory to God, but and a lot of people. As a high school band director for 33 years, there's no way we could have gone to Carnegie Hall or to Chicago or Disneyland or to Bray, Ireland, or even out of any county that we lived in if it wasn't for other people. And you got to turn power over to other people. When you're a conductor, you have to empower your musicians, don't you? You're giving them power. They're giving them a sense of ownership of what's going on. So it's an interesting. He uses Henry Ford here. So he says just about everybody has heard of Henry Ford. Henry Ford was a revolutionary innovator in the automobile industry and a legend in American business history. In 1903, Henry Ford co-founded the Ford Motor Company with the belief that the future of the automobile lay in putting it within the reach of the average American. Ford said, "I will build a motor car for the multitude. It will be large enough for the family, but small enough for the individual to run and care for. It will be constructed of the best materials by the best men to be hired after the simplest design that modern engineering can devise. It will be low in price that no man, it'll be so low in price that no man making a good salary will be unable to own one. And enjoy with family the blessings of hours of pleasure in God's great open. Okay, so Henry Ford carried out that vision with the Model T. And the Model T changed the face of the 20th century American life. By 1914, Henry Ford was producing nearly 50% of all automobiles in the United States. The Ford Motor Company looked like an American success story, a less known chapter of the story. However, although Ford's story is not about positive achievement, and one of the reasons that Henry Ford did not embrace the law of empowerment. Henry Ford was so in love with the Model T that he never wanted to change or improve the Model T, nor did Henry Ford want anyone else to tinker with the Model T. One day, when a group of his designers surprised Henry Ford by presenting him with the prototype of an improved model, Henry Ford ripped its doors off the hinges and proceeded to destroy the car with his bare hands. For almost 20 years, the Ford Motor Company offered only one design, and of course, that's the Model T, which Ford had personally developed. It wasn't until 1927 when Henry Ford finally, grudgingly, agreed to offer a new car to the public. The company produced the Model A, but it was incredibly far behind its competitors in technical innovations. Despite the early head start and the incredible lead over its competitors, the Ford Motor Company's market share kept shrinking. By 1931, it was down to only 28%. Henry Ford was the antithesis of an empowering leader. He always seemed to undermine his leaders and took over the shoulders and look over the shoulders of his people. Henry Ford even created a sociological department within Ford Motor Company to check up on his employees and direct their private lives, which is very interesting because I think there are companies that are trying to do that still to this day, 2022, and they use the internet. Can't say certain things and gotta think the same way we think and on and on and on. So what's old is new again. As time went by, Henry Ford became more and more eccentric. He once went into his accounting office and tossed the company's books into the street, saying, "Just put all the money we take in a big barrel. And when a shipment of material comes in, reach into the barrel and take out enough money to pay for it." He also devoted more and more of his time and money to pet projects, such as growing and experimenting with hundreds of varieties of soybeans. Perhaps Ford's most peculiar dealings were with his executives, especially his son Edsel. The younger Ford had worked at the company since he was a boy. As Henry became more eccentric, his son Edsel worked harder to keep the company going. If it were not for Edsel, the Ford Motor Company probably would have gone out of business in the 1930s. Henry eventually gave Edsel the presidency of the company and publicly said that Ford Motor Company's future looked bright with his son's leadership. Yet at the same time, Henry Ford undermined Edsel and backed other leaders within the organization. Anytime a promising leader rose up in the company, Henry tore him down. As a result, the company kept losing its best executives. The few who stayed did so because of Edsel. They figured that someday old Henry would die and Edsel would finally take over and set things right. But that's not what happened. In 1943, Edsel died at the age of 49. So you're going to have to decide what kind of leader you're going to be as far as an empowering leader, what you can give, what you can't give, and such. So think about what Theodore Roosevelt realizes eventually, that the best executive is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants done, and the self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with those good men while they do it. So barriers to empowerment. Here are the barriers to empowerment. Leadership analysts Lynn McFarlane, Larry Sen, and John Childress affirm that, quote, the empowerment leadership model shifts away from position power, where all people are given leadership roles so they can contribute to their fullest capacity, end quote. Only empowered people can reach their potential. When a leader cannot or will not empower others, the leader creates barriers within the organization that people cannot overcome. If the barriers remain long enough, then the people will give up, or they move to another organization where they can maximize their potential. Why do some leaders violate the law of empowerment? We'll consider some reasons. This is why leaders violate the law of empowerment. Desire for job security. The number one enemy of empowerment is the desire for job security. A weak leader worries that if the leader helps subordinates, the leader becomes dispensable. But the truth is that only way to make yourself indispensable is to make yourself dispensable. In other words, if you are able to continually empower others and help them develop so that they become capable of taking over your job, you will become so valuable to the organization that you become indispensable. That's a paradox in the law of empowerment. And about resistance to change. Yeah. Nobel Prize winning author John Steinbeck asserted, "It is the nature of man as he grows older to protest against change, particularly change for the better." By its very nature, empowerment brings constant change because it encourages people to grow and innovate. Change is the price of progress. Another barrier. So, why do some leaders violate the law of empowerment? Consider lack of self worth. Many people gain their personal value and esteem from their work or position. Threaten to change either of them, and you threaten their self worth. On the other hand, author Buck Rogers, like that, Buck Rogers, says, quote, "Those who have confidence in themselves change the stimulus because they believe one person can make a difference and influence what goes on around them. These people are the doers and motivators." They are also the empowerers, leading by lifting up others. Only secure leaders are able to give themselves away. Mark Twain once remarked that great things can happen when you do not care who gets the credit. But you can take that a step further. Dr. Maxwell believes the greatest things happen only when you give others the credit. So, something to think about. Great author, love him to death. There's other authors. There's Stephen Covey. There's Jocko Willink. And Jocko Willink is a leader. He thinks that leadership, everything falls on the leader. Literally everything. And when you're going to empower people, you are going to have to make sure that publicly they look good. You take the blame for the failures. You give them the credit for the successes. You know in your heart, in the back of your mind, you had a little bit to do with that. Publicly, though, hey, way to go, George. Thank you so much for doing a great job on that project. Okay, before everyone gets mad at Alice, don't get mad at Alice. I'm the leader. I should have done more to help Alice. Okay, Alice is a great leader, so thank you so much. Okay, it's my fault, and I apologize. Now, privately, you might say, "Hey, Alice, why didn't you tell me what can we do? What happened?" Publicly, though, Alice is a star. All right, so just a reminder, April the 29th, we are hopefully going to see a bunch of teenagers at Cafe 210 in Visalia, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We hope to see 200 adults at the First Presbyterian Church in Visalia, April 30th. 8 a.m. is the registration, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is the actual event. And let's do it. And then hopefully, if everything goes well, we'd love to have you all come to us, hopefully August 27th, and we can do this. This is for parents, obviously, and helping families get back from COVID. You know, at the end of mind, every choice you make is yours, so choose wisely, seek first to understand and be understood. Finally, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Band Together Leadership. Love you. Bye.